directions and we follow them. Huh? And actually we could do a much better job if we weren't so unqualified. But somehow or other Krishna likes what we're doing, and so he's giving us so much encouragement. And you can also get like that. That's the whole point of this. I'm not boasting. I'm trying to encourage you that you can do the same thing. Okay? Any other questions?
Otto added, but the old heavy karmic debts are still there. Do they become purified by service and dissolve?
That's the whole point. Yeah. The mantra especially dissolves that old karma. The more you chant, the more it will lighten up. Any more?
No, that's it.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit, I want to have kind of like a community meeting. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the future directions for our Sangha, for our community. You know, for a long time we've been talking about having a farm and having like an example community of self-sustaining agriculture and like that. And in the beginning, our vision was, well, now I feel that it was kind of crude. It was kind of very, I mean, it was good as far as it went, but it was actually based on things that we have experienced before. And there was nothing really unique or new or special about it. It was very similar to what we had already experienced in other places, in ISKCON and other communities that we saw. It was kind of the best of all of those put together into a plan with our own insights about how to establish Varnashram Dharma through the university program and like that. And that's going well. I'm very pleased with how the university has grown. It's actually grown much faster than anybody had thought. What do we have now, 30 students in the Bhakti program? Something like that, 30, 32. It's really grown just amazingly fast. I'd like to see some of our students making faster progress. Some of them are a little bit stuck. But gradually we will get everybody through the Bhakti program and through the Bhakti Shastri program and like that. Our goal, our first goal, is to create real brahmanas, real Vedic, spiritual, realized teachers who can spread this lifestyle and this philosophy to others in the original form without changing anything, and who can also show a good example in their own lives. And so we have a very high standard for our Brahminical students, for our Brahminical initiation. And by the time they get there, they will be in really good shape. Beyond that, we have more courses designed to produce sannyasis that don't fall down and gurus who are genuine spiritual masters in the true sense of the word. So that program is going on very nicely. And I have every reason to feel that, to have confidence it's going to continue in the future like that. But we have not been able to make much progress. I'll be quite honest with you. Here in Chile, I mean, I suppose the fact that we've got a beautiful house in a gorgeous place in the country, you know, one of the most beautiful tourist locations in the southern hemisphere, you know, that counts for something. And we have made a lot of progress fixing up the place and getting comfortable here, even though the house really wasn't designed for winter. It was built as a tourist place for the summer. So it's not really properly insulated and so on like that. But this nice big temple room is just perfect. I mean, the sound in this room is wonderful, and the place is very pretty and gorgeous and natural like that. So we really like this place, and we're okay, we're comfortable here. But you know me, I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always trying to see as far ahead as possible. And what I can see is that here in Chile, unless we put together some kind of a preaching program for the local people, how are they going to become devotees? How are they going to give a proper reception or respect to the esoteric teaching? And another point is, how do we finance developing a farm here? A farm, you know, is a big project. It requires a big piece of land, at least, you know, 20 to 40 acres. And the land here has gotten quite expensive now. Even though you can look around and find some land cheaper, it's still, you know, $10,000 an acre or something like that for good farmland. So we're looking at our finances, and although we have adequate finances, you know, for what we're doing now, for any kind of a big project in the future, it's just, you know, it's not adequate at all. So we're trying to understand how we could finance a bigger project, and some of the ideas that have come up are very interesting. Well, one idea is to attract investors who are interested in strictly in a business way by getting a bigger piece of land than we actually need. Let's say if we need 40 acres for our farm, we got 100 acres. And then we develop parcels with, you know, little cabins and water and roads and gardens and stuff like that. In other words, we improve the land, we fence it off, and make it all ready to subdivide into parcels. A typical land development deal, where we get 100 acres and then we sell off 50 or 60 acres to other people, hopefully people who had some spiritual values and who want to be next to a bunch of crazy monks. And but really, they wouldn't necessarily be members of our community. They would just be, you know, people who want a nice place in the country, or a retirement home, or a piece of land, or something like that. And then from the proceeds of that sale, we would develop our community, pay off the land, and pay back the investors. So the one problem with doing that here in Chile is that it would be very expensive. We'd be talking about $1 million deal. And we'd have to, you know, establish a corporation and all of that, which is not such a big deal. But we would have to attract some fairly serious money. Another avenue that we've been exploring is the idea of related businesses. Related business means something that is drawn from the Vedas, from the esoteric teaching, but which would be a profitable business to have, and something that we could develop that would more or less take care of itself. In other words, it would have to be online business. Not that we open a store somewhere or manufacture things, but that we give some services based on Vedic knowledge or something like that. So we came up with the idea of Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurvedic medicine, which is in the north of India, is also in the south of India. They have a tradition called Siddha medicine. The Siddha medicine is a more original tradition. And the medicines of that tradition are reputed to be more powerful. So we're developing a relationship with one of these Siddha tradition gurus. And so far it's going okay. But we're not exclusively thinking of, we're not thinking of making an exclusive deal with any one person, but to have some pool of medical talent, let's say in India, people who know these traditions and apply them every day in their lives to actually heal people, coming up with these herbal medicines, and then have an online store with a seminar to educate people in these different medical traditions, and then they can buy the medicines, or they can buy astrological consultation. There's a whole field of medical astrology. We have all the books, we just haven't gone through it, but we could make a computer program that would give people a readout or a report that indicates their medical issues based on their astrology. And from what we know about Vedic astrology, this would be very accurate. It would be very powerful. So we could sell